Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to share with you your first PHP MySQL application. That means if you are new to PHP, then you can use this development as your first PHP plus MySQL development. Here I'm going to give you a very basic introduction how to connect MySQL using PHP and also how to save data using a PHP form. That means connecting MySQL database and save into MySQL table. These are the basic things we are going to cover with this tutorial. Let's jump into the code. Okay, first I will create a form, HTML form. Form. Let's say method is post and action is let's say because I'm in a test folder. Let's say test. Okay. Now we have a form and inside of this form I'm creating three input. Let's say name is the label. I'm not giving label here, but I'll just giving the name. Okay, br and also I will add the input type. Type is te text and name is txt name and yeah let's add the br here as well and let's add the address. Here I'm going to give you a basic idea. Then I will use only two uh, two form inputs because this is just give you a brief idea about how to save form into MySQL DB kind of thing. Then let's I add the text area. Text area within this text area we name it as txt address. Okay, and yep, we need we need submit input type. Input type. So submit submit and name is equal to submit and value equal to submit. Okay, let's okay and here we close this and now we have a basic form. Let's go to the browser and check. Yeah, we have a form. We have a really basic form and let's implement our PHP code. Here I will create that mean really basic example. Um, okay, and here I will add first we need to check that form is submitted or not. If let's say if is set, we check if this parameter is set or not. That means let's the post. We check whether submit button parameter is set or not submit. If submit is set, then we do our code implementation. That means we connect the database. Here I will do the code here all the codes within the one file within the same file. After completing this, I will explain to you how to structure this code. That means how to connections and configurations, those kind of things. How to keep those files separately. How to structure these things good way. Let's create a real basic way. I will add I will add uh, I will add a connection to here. $con equal to new, sorry, with the new keyword new PDO. let's say I will create PDO connection because nowadays most of the people use PDO. Host, let's say my local host, and DB name, DB name equal to, let's say, example DB, and DB user is root. Password, my password is empty, and now we have a PDO connection, uh, and we need I think we need error for, because PDO we need error to show the errors. We need the error handling information as well. Here we can provide those things. $con, let's say set attribute, because PDO need to configure the attributes to show the errors. It it error mode error mode equal to PDO error exception, error exception. Okay, here we have now we have connection, and we need to capture the post parameters. That means name, dollar post, say name. We capture the first parameter. Oh, sorry, it is txt name, and let's say address equal to dollar post, let's say txt address. Okay, now we have captured the form parameter values. Now we need to save this into a database. Let's create the query. Dollar query equal to uh, let's say insert into let's say table user, and name and address. Okay, and values are, let's say values, let's say dollar name, sorry, dollar name, and dollar name, dollar address. Okay, and okay, now we have a query, and we need to pass this query to uh, PDO SMTP, STMT. And we need to pass this query to a PDO query method. Let's say a $con query, uh, $query. Now we have save. Now already we save the information to database. Let's echo message. Your data has been saved into database, or something message, some message. Yeah, okay, now we have created our database. Here we have first we check the form is submitted or not. If the form is submitted, that means this we check with the submit button name. If it is submitted, then we establish the PDO connection, and we capture the form data, form name and TXT name and TXT address using this name, and then after that we create our query, and after creating query, we pass that query into PDO query method to save into database, and then it will run the query, and it will save to database. Let's try with this. Okay, first we okay, let's create the database example DB. Let's click the create. Yeah, database is created. Actually, I forget to tell you, here I'm using XWAMP installation. That means XWAMP software package installation. That means if you check my previous video, you can find previous video that how to install this, create your local development environment. I expecting that you guys watch my previous video as well. Then that's why I not going to explain these things. Here I'm using XWAMP installation. As you can see with the XWAMP, you can have this package PHP MyAdmin package. It will install within the localhost PHP MyAdmin path, and you can create using databases this tool. And now we already created our database. Now we have to create our table. Here I have creating. I have this name TBL user. I use this name within my code, and let's create the table. Let's add the primary key. Let's create the primary key. Go to here indexing. It's primary. Okay, go to OK and auto increment. And second column is name. It is actually varchar. 300 is enough for names. And also we have address. Address is text because we can't limit the strings. Here we can say it can be null. That means can be a blank, empty. Okay, now we add our table information. Let's click the save button. Now that table is created. Now table is created. As you can see here, we have ID, name, address. We don't need to send the ID. We need to send a name and address only. Here, let's try now. We have table user we have, and example DB also we have. Let's try with this form. Let's add my name, Tarang Srijay Singh, and let's add test test address. Okay, let's try submit. As you can see, it will returning that error, that message we put in here. Let's check with the database. Okay, let's go to browse. Yeah, as you can see, it will save into our table. That means our code is working fine. Yeah, now next step is that means as you can see here, we have all the database configurations hard coded. As you can see, we have hard coded this information. But what happen if we need to change this thing again? Then the problem is we have to edit in here. It is not good practice to do like this. I will change the code arrangement with different and that means good way. And here also we can see we call the connection these things within this file. Then the problem is when if we need same connection within the different file, we have to copy and paste this code. We can change these things. Let's arrange this more better way. Okay, I will create a configuration file config.php. Okay, and we can add our configuration inside of this. Let's say return $config equal to let's say our server equal to localhost and our username username equal to root and uh, our password equal to my password is empty and and server username password database equal to database name equal to example db. Okay, now we have our configuration file. Let's change these things. That means server. Let's go to and include our config file config.php, and now we can access that variable, that config variable. Here we can say this as a let's say dollar config. Let's say server. Okay, and here we will put this. Okay, right, and also db name dollar config. What is the db name? Okay, database, and database. Okay, database, and the password. Sorry, username dollar config user name, and also password. We have to give the password as well. Dollar config password. Okay, right now we have given our configuration information. Now we have a different file for the configuration. We can easily change configuration from here. We don't need to change anything here now. Okay, now we can see that we need to copy and paste each and every database connection. If we need database connection within the different file, we have to copy and paste these things. Then to avoid that, we can put this in information to different file like this. Let's say db connection.php. Inside of this PHP file, we can say uh, we can add this information to function connect. Let's add here we have to pass config, and here we can copy paste those code to here, and now we have configuration information. Let's okay, let's return the config first, otherwise return, because now it is in with the function. Now we can include this file as well. Include $db co connection.php. Now the thing is, now we can have access to config variable, because we included that file within this file. We can have access to this array. Okay, within from this page, this file index.php, and also we can have access to this function, that means db connection function. Here we can have access to this function as well. That function automatically uh, have now we can have access to that function as well. Here we can implement code like this. That means now we remove the our um, connection. Let's establish connection from here. Let's say $con equal to connect. We need to give the config variable. Now we done our development. Now we don't need to copy that code again and again. We can just copy this part, and also we don't need to uh, hard code the configuration information. It is really that means this is the way we need to do these kind of things. And also here what we doing is that we included our config file and db connection file within this file, index file. That means we can have access to those code. Then we connect. Using the connect, we access this connect function, and we pass config variable. That means this information, and within the connect, it will connect to the PDO and set the error information, and it will return that object. And here we can we will create the query, and here we have a PDO object, and we can access that object method. We can access that object method. That object have query method. Using query method, we can run the queries. Then using query method, we run this our query, insert into query, and it will insert the data into a database. Let's check this again, how is it working or not. Let's refresh this. Let's add test username and address test 775. Okay, something like this. Okay, let's submit. Now it's saying it's already saved. Let's check. Okay, now it's saving. Yeah, that means yeah, I think this is a really basic example because I need to give you a really basic example and simple one because you can now you can do something because now I already that mean you can add new columns, new input fields to this form and try to insert those fields to database. Likewise, you can do your homework with this example. Yeah, I will create another video with the next level development. That means, yeah, with the more complex things. First, I think as a newcomer, then you can use this tutorial as your first application, first development to understand how PHP MySQL behave when you doing form insert. I hope this video helpful and let's meet with next video. Thank you very much for watching my videos.